really unique things about this bill is our three-step misdemeanor penalty that we have provided in the legislation. We do a couple of really significant things with the three-step penalty. One of the things that kept coming up in the task force throughout the year, and really across the country, is the data that suggests, and it's scientific, some pretty scientific data that is irrefutable, that there is a link between abusing animals and the ultimate effect of those who abuse animals will step up and start abusing people as well. So there was a lot of pressure early on in the summer to put something in this statute that addressed that problem. And I can tell you that I resisted that pretty significantly, because this is an animal cruelty statute. It is not a mental health statute, and it is not designed to provide any mandates to the Department of Health and Welfare as to what they might do with a person who's convicted. But what we did do with the three-step penalty is begin to draw a bullseye on those people who are convicted over and over. So by the time they've had their third conviction, there's a significant bullseye drawn around them. And whatever happens with that individual, we don't try to address that. But certainly law enforcement and the courts become very aware that an individual is moving downward in that spiral to that, what the data says is an ultimate outcome. So the first stage of the new penalty is doubled what the existing penalty is in the statute. So the first step is doubled, and then the second step is an exponential step higher, and the third step, again, an exponential step higher. The other thing that was troublesome is we simply don't have the resources. There are no general fund appropriations for animal cruelty prosecutions. And that continues to be an issue. And this certainly doesn't fix all of that issue, but it goes a ways towards offering us some solution. So the 25% of the new fee called for in this legislation, 25% of that would go to, of each phase, 25% goes to the prosecuting jurisdiction, be it a county or a city, so that they have some incentive, and they know they're going to get some of their costs back to prosecute. The other, and 25% of that would then go to the ISDA. And you might ask, so if it's a companion animal, why does ISDA get 25%? Right now, ISDA, and until at such time as they no longer offer that service, ISDA is the organization that is offering the training for local sheriffs and others to identify animal cruelty, and they serve as that as a melting pot or a dispatch for some of that information. So we will continue to provide 25% of that for them until we perhaps at some point down the road we'll want to revisit that issue. And then 50% of the new fee still goes to the courts. So the courts are not diminished at all in any of this process, which we wanted to be sure that we didn't do. The final thing that I will point out is that we've taken great pains to make sure that we're protecting the lawful practices and uses of animals. And we have incorporated the language that does address that, and that clarifies that normal and lawful practice is not determined by an individual whim, but is determined by a bona fide organization or commodity group that makes those determinations of what is appropriate care and practice. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy